Hey beauties, good afternoon to you, beautiful people. All right, I know, especially women, you have been told in order to choose a man, the man, that will hunt you, will look for you, because men are natural hunters. Their masculinity is one of the driving forces of them being hunters. So, in you making your choice of the particular man that you're going to take on as your boyfriend and then fiance and then husband, ultimately, that you ought to look at how he treats his mother, perhaps his sisters, they may mention, or the females that he associates with on a day-to-day or regular basis. But predominantly, you will hear them say how he treats his mother. It is a big indication of how he will treat you. Maybe in yesteryears that could have been true, but that may not necessarily be true in this 21st century. The plethora of women who could come and tell you of men who treat their mother well, with respect and honor, and they treat their wives with dishonor, with disdain, with vitriol, with disrespect, the abuse they face, psychological, sexual, physical, emotional, financial. It is astronomical. It is unbelievable. And what I felt that sort of unction from God to speak on the matter, because it is something that people have to be careful of. How a man honors, values, and respects Jesus Christ and his teachings is a big indication of how he will treat you as a woman, not how he respects his mother. Because a number of women can come and they can give you their story of the abuse that they face of men who respect their mothers and treat their mothers very well. It is not a big indication, and I'm going to tell you why. It doesn't matter if you're a Christian or not. You remember, church was not separated from state in early days. Some people may call it Stone Age days, but early days. So they mixed Bible with state. If you look in our society and when you explore society and when you encounter society, you realize a lot of the things that you see practiced back in the early days is something that has carried on, like tradition, and a lot of it you can link it back to the Bible. You realize, they got this from the Bible. Some are subcultural practices that they probably conjure up based on their own personal idiosyncrasies, personal views, personal feelings and experiences. We do understand that, or facts and so on, that truths and as I said, experiences that they would have gone through. One of the messages that have been promulgated that probably has driven fear in men is that it says, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land. It is honor, children obey your parents, for this is children obey your parents in the Lord. Don't forget the in the Lord, for this is right. It is the first commandment with a promise, if you understand what I'm saying. So because of that clause that is placed there, that is right there at the forefront, at the face of it, what one can surmise is that, because he does not want his life to be snow, and it doesn't necessarily mean your physical life, you want your life to be blessed and highly favored. Let us put it that way, in every way, mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, sexually, that's one of the biggest bliss for men. I better respect this primary source of socialization, which is called mother, the matriarch. Not only mother, but father. But for this particular video, I'm using mother right here. So because I don't want God to so-called curse them, because they defied that scripture, many of them will respect their mother and disrespect the women. If 1 Peter 3 verse 7, I think it is, the scripture where Peter says to men, husbands, but it's very wide. It's not only just the husbands. Do not embitter, do not abuse. What he said, do not abuse your wives physically, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, sexually, spiritually. Don't abuse them, because if you do, your prayers will be hindered. If a message like that was preached from day one, men would respect women and honor women in droves, even without that one that says honor thy mother and thy father. They know that backlash will come. They know curse will come when they breach that commandment. I said, God, can you imagine if you had not put that commandment in, how you would see men operate towards their mothers, especially mothers who are not necessarily good mothers, who are considered narcissistic, arrogant, proud, selfish mothers. Can you imagine? I'm not saying it doesn't happen now, you know. It does happen. But look at the lives of those men and even those women when they have Jezebel-like mothers. But I'm telling you, be careful of how you promulgate that message, because you do have men who they have been, or it has almost been inculcated in them to show respect to their mother, because their lives will be cursed if they should do otherwise. But it has not been inculcated in them to respect women in general. And as I had put forth, if the message in 1 Peter 3, verse 7, I think it is, was preached as how they preach that commandment, let me tell you, men would be very, very careful in how they handle us women. So in order for a man, in you to choose a man, my suggestion is this to you. You look at how he values, and it is based on how he speaks about Jesus Christ and his teachings, and following the principles of Jesus Christ's teachings. It's not so much how he treats his mother or his sister. It's usually because he doesn't want them to look, he doesn't want to look bad in the society. He doesn't want the curse of God to be upon him. Why it is that he would have, it's almost like he has no choice but to treat them good. Don't get me wrong. I am not saying that you don't have sons and mothers who have good relationships. You do. That's natural. And just as so you have daughters and mothers who have good relationships. That's natural. So that is not even in question. But I'm saying to you that I would encourage you not to just look at how they treat their mothers, because I've seen cases where they treat their mothers. I've seen it, not just people telling me alone, not me just reading upon it. I've seen it where they will treat their mothers with honor and respect, with the utmost decency. But when they're dealing with other women, you cannot believe it's the same man. And you realize that the relationship may either be fake, the one that they have with the mother, or it is built on fear, because they want their days, whether it's their physical days or their financial days or their social days or their spiritual days, some blessed days, to be long. So they want to live a successful life, a prosperous life, a blessed life. It may not necessarily hinge on longevity in the way, because you do have wicked people who live very long, who dishonor their parents, dishonor other people, and they live long. But it's for them to wither in the worst way when time comes, at an inopportune time for them. Wither in a terrible manner. As Jamaicans would say, they're dead bad, but they suffer before they die. Don't look at that. Women, look at how he respects Jesus Christ, respects God, how he values the teachings and the principles of God, of Jesus. Based on that, it will tell you, it is a big indication if he will be a great husband to you and a great father to his children. Do not just look at how he treats his mother, because many of them only do it, to for show purposes. In other words, make people think that, oh, all is well. Or he's fearful that, the curse of God will come upon him if I dishonor my mother. So it's not done out of love and affection. It is done out of fear. Just like a lot of people, their Christianity is out of fear. It is not out of love. Lord, I don't want to go to hell, so make me go follow the commandments to the T. I don't care if I even treat anybody bad. And they end up breaching the commandment in the long run. It's not out of a good relationship with God. It is not out of a deep and sincere relationship. It is out of fear of not wanting, as Jamaicans would say, bad blessing to follow them. Watch how they genuinely value the teachings and the principles of Jesus Christ. That is how you will know you will have a good man. Stop talking about is it because you don't have the right man. Are you the right person? Is a man a godly man and a good man? David was a man after God's own heart. He valued the teachings and the principles of God, and that is why he made a good husband. He valued that. He employed that. He epitomized that. Not perfect human being like all of us. So look at that, ladies. Guys, follow me on TikTok. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please share this message.